How does it feel to be living my dream? We're going to hit that. When we can live life on our terms, on a holistic level, taking into account not just our business lives, but also our health, all of our relationships, from friends, family, our partners, the world changes. All right, if you're thinking about AIM, I really wonder what it's like to be living my dream. Well, I got to tell you, it's fantastic, but there's going to be other things in there that you may not expect. We'll hit those. A lot of times when we talk to each other, we say, hey, how you doing, man? And people are like, I'm good, life's good, whatever. It's the tertiary top line, even if they aren't. I like to say, when somebody says, hey, Kluver, how you doing? It's like, I feel like the luckiest cat on the planet. And I genuinely do. But the reality is I think we all can be the luckiest cats on the planet if we put the clarity and intentionality around living the life that we want to. Do we want to live that life of our dreams? And we can, I promise. But you're going to find that there's a certain amount of resistance. There's going to be a fair amount of discomfort for yourself. There's going to be certain challenges that you go through with this. So one of the key things to remember is that we don't grow in comfort. We typically only grow in discomfort. So you have to be willing to understand that this might make me a little uncomfortable, but that's okay. That means you're going to be able to get stronger and better at what you're doing. Also, you're going to have to understand that you likely, when you start living your dreams and going towards that, there's going to be others around you who see this, and they're going to have some resistance. They're going to say things that don't seem appropriate, and they may actually try and hold you back. So let me hit a few ideas on this. A long time ago, I had to quit drinking. I'd like to say I turned pro with my drinking in the 80s and retired in the early 2000s. And it was amazing to me how there were certain people in my group of friends who were really, really uncomfortable that I quit drinking. And they would try and get me to drink with them. They'd try and get me to do all these other things. It's not that they didn't love me. It's not that they didn't care. But what it was is that I was making them uncomfortable because I was choosing to let go of something and strive to get to a different level. So the reality is that in a couple of, in most of the cases, we were able to work through it, but understanding that there will be those saboteurs who don't even know they're being saboteurs. Now, when it comes to living your dream life, one of the primary areas that I see this, and I hate saying this, it can be with parents. Doesn't mean that parents don't have all the very best wishes and intentions in mind. But if you're going outside of their comfort zone, well, that may come back and there may be some blowback with that. So, as an example, my wife, she grew up in an immigrant family. Her father was illiterate. She was the first one to go to college. She happened to be good at math, and as a result, her family really, really encouraged her to become an accountant. She was great at being an accountant, except she fucking hated it. So she wasn't living her dream. It took till she was almost 40 for her to transition and say, look, I could do this, but I don't really love doing this. And you're gonna have to trust that I go out and do this on my own. Now, for me, my parents, my dad's an attorney, my mom was a high school principal. For me, dyslexic as hell, to go out and start my own business in fashion in the 80s, oh my God. I can't imagine how uncomfortable they were. It's not that they didn't want good things for me. It's not that they didn't believe in me. It's just it wasn't a path they were used to. And when you start living your own dream life, people may see that and they may get concerned. They may look at it differently. Now, in addition, your dream life may not fit with the highlight reels that everybody else has in the social media, different platforms. In fact, as an example, in my latest book, and you go to our website and we have a whole bunch of tools and courses and stuff, lifeon-yourterms.com. Spoiler alert, the main character goes from working in a corner office in his 20s to working out of his Sprinter van, traveling around mountain biking. We happen to live way up in the mountains, and I love that. We see people living that dream all the time. But there are those out there who be like, you gave up what? To go live in a van down by the river? If you're an old Saturday Night Live person, you know what I mean by that. But the point is that as you start to live your dream, it's amazing how wonderful it'll feel, and you'll start feeling it inside that you know it's the right step. But there's going to be a transition period where You're going to have to be confident with where you're going, clear on what it looks like, and understanding that it ain't going to be perfect. You're going to have to build a strategy to achieve it. It's actually one of the things that we do on our courses at lifeon-yourterms.com. But if you want, you can go and about halfway down the page, there's a tool that you can start with. It's called the balance wheel. Go through it, takes about 10 minutes, and then it'll give you immediate results in 4 quadrants of your life. And when you have this tool in these 4 quadrants, which is going to be relationships, health, your professional, and your resources, it'll help you to define, okay, here's where we are now. Here's where I am. Celebrate those victories, those positives where you are, but then start to visualize and build the dream of where you want to be. What would amazing look like in those areas? And then there's a whole bunch of processes and structures on how you can go through and actually build a big dream. We call it a life-changing goal, and then build a strategy to go out and achieve it. But if you start there, you can start visualizing, 3 or 4 bullet points for each one of the different segments. So as an example, in your relationships, for a partner. And if you don't have a partner, you want a partner, great. What would amazing look like for your partner? What would it look like for your family, and what would it look like for your friends? But start to visualize these things on what it looks like and where you want to go. Going back to living your dream, it's possible. I promise it is. But you have to put that intentionality around it. So I can tell you that since Rika and I did this, Rika, my wife, we've been doing this for years and years now, but we now live at 10,000 feet up in the woods, about 30 miles from Vail, Aspen, and Breckenridge, right between all 3 of them. And like I said, we feel like the luckiest people on the planet. We take 2 months off a year for adventure travel because that's our thing, but we still get to go mountain biking and playing and hiking and skiing just about every day. So, but we built that with that dream and that intention. Doesn't necessarily mean it's an easier road. Doesn't mean that you're not always going to be comfortable or you're going to be uncomfortable all the time, but it is a challenge, and I hope I always keep challenging myself. So with this, when you think about, how does it feel when you're living your dream life? It's amazing. And I think that once you start really pushing and challenging it, put some clear intentionality on how you're going to build that roadmap to achieve it, and you go out and start doing it, it becomes a beautiful habit, and things just get stronger and stronger and stronger. So if you found value in this, hey, please subscribe to the channel. Check out some of the other videos on here. If you're looking at potentially becoming a coach, we do offer a certification where we allow you to have access to all the dozens of tools and the videos and the courses that we have, and you can use that as a coach, as your own coach. But if you have questions, leave a comment or reach out to us directly at lifeon-yourterms.com. Keep smiling.